The real Rosicrucians, they are a network of highly psychic Christians, Christian mystics. They're able to converse with and interact with higher angelic beings who fill them in on the bigger picture and what's really going on and what their divine task is within the history of humanity. That's why they are a positive secret society, because they ultimately serve the divine will, but they do it through a higher understanding than just your regular Christian who only reads the Bible in a more like literal kind of way. So within their tradition, there's this interesting book called the Comte De Gabalis, and it's a book from 1670 put out by a guy named Abbé de Villers. This guy wrote this book in order to expose the influence of non-human intelligences on human history. So he gets all into the class of beings called elementals, which are sylphs, nymphs, gnomes, and salamanders. These four beings, they're all humanoid. So even though we think about salamanders nowadays as little lizards, back then it was a code word for essentially reptilian-looking humanoids that were associated with fire. And the gnomes were humanoids that were kind of short and associated with earth. And the nymphs were basically, for the most part, beautiful, superhuman-looking women associated with water. And sylphs were superhuman men and women associated with the air. So it's kind of interesting that nowadays within the abduction field, you always hear about greys, which are like short. You hear about reptilian humanoids, and you hear about these Nordic type beings. I find the correspondence between those two curious.